You've spent your whole life begging the universe to show you a sign that magic is real, but you never stopped to consider why the universe was hiding it from you in the first place. Welcome to Eviliv3, a celebration of my favorite tabletop role-playing games. This is a sister channel to Eviliv. Today I'm presenting The Awakening in Ævum Malum, my modern, urban, dark fantasy tabletop role-playing game campaign setting. In our modern world, we comfort ourselves with the predictable. We look at a shadow and call it a lack of light. We experience a coincidence and call it math. But in this world, ignorance isn't just bliss, it's a survival mechanism. Today, we're pulling back the veil on the terrifying reality of the awakening. We're exploring what actually happens when a mortal mind shatters its mundane programming, pierces the ethereal, and is forced to look directly into the eyes of the cosmic entities controlling our modern illusion. To understand the horror of waking up, we first have to look at the 4 layers of human awareness that dictate our modern society. Layer 1, the mundane lens. This is where 99% of humanity resides. They are trapped in what the entities call the sleepwalk. To these people, the world is strictly material. They see the grind of a 9-to-5, bills and traffic. They are safely, beautifully cocooned in absolute ignorance. Layer 2 is the skewed lens. This is the realm of the false seekers. These are the modern occultists, the academic demonologists, and the edgelords playing with surface-level tarot or mainstream ritualism. They think they are enlightened, but they are just looking at a distorted shadow on a wall. They treat the supernatural like a trendy subculture, playing with fire using a plastic toy lighter. Layer 3 is the touched lens. This is where things get dangerous. A few rare mortals actually pierce the veil and discover true magic. They learn that reality is entirely malleable, driven by the raw, terrifying power of human imagination bleeding from the ethereal realm into our physical corporeal world. They can manifest their desires. They feel like gods, but their triumph is incredibly short-lived. And then finally, layer 4, the shattered lens. This is the absolute final awakening. The mortal realizes they aren't a god-molding reality. They are a fragile mouse trapped in a cosmic war zone. The lens shatters completely. They see the ethereals, the celestials, and the absolute horror of the void scratching at the edges of existence, trying to undo everything. Human minds don't usually cross into layer 4 on their own. They are dragged there, often aided by ancient sacred objects left behind by celestials or ethereal guardians. Take, for instance, the blindfold of the Grigori. Rumored to be woven from the decaying silks of the ancient watchers, if a mortal wears it over their eyes for a full night's cycle, the physical world is burned away. When they take it off at sunrise, they will never see a human face again. They will only see the blinding, terrifying, pure light or gnashing darkness of the celestial vessels walking among us on the subway, in our offices, and in our homes. Or consider the dissonant tuning fork. Etched with celestial cuneiform, striking it doesn't create a musical note, it creates a jarring frequency of absolute cosmic dissonance. It shatters the mortals' internal rhythm, permanently desynchronizing them from the mundane world and dropping them into the terrifying back end of reality. But here is the bitter, modern twist of the setting. There is no going back. Once your mind expands to perceive the ethereal and celestial realms, your brain's physical architecture is fundamentally rewritten. You can never go back to the sleepwalk. You are no longer a passive audience member watching the world go by. You have just been forced onto the stage as a performer in a cosmic symphony. Every nightmare you have, every burst of desperate imagination ripples outward like a flare in the dark, drawing the hungry, predatory attention of both angels and demons. When people seek the arcane in this world, they expect an ascension. They expect superpowers. What they get is a psychological curse. The tragic reality of the fully awakened mortal is that they eventually end up begging the very entities they sought out to wipe their memories, to blind them, just so they can go back to their quiet, ignorant lives. But the Guardians don't care. As they often remind the broken survivors, they can pluck out your eyes, little bird, but your soul will still see them standing in the corners of your room. So tell me, if you found a sacred object, would you dare to strike the chord? Sleep well, if you can. Thank you for watching today's Ævum Malum episode. Subscribe and ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Don't forget to click the like button and comment to let others learn about this dark and engaging modern urban fantasy tabletop role-playing game campaign setting. You can join my actual plays and get $10 signing up to startplaying.games, and even pick up other tabletop role-playing games using my affiliate link in the description below. Thank you to creator patron Aaron Hardy and D. Robert Handy, and developer patrons Chris Androu and Sam Ruiz. And as always, remember that evil spelled backwards is live. So get out there and be evil.